stressed and frustrated.
It reminds you that traffic jams aren't just some abstract problem. They really affect people's lives.
They really do. And this particular jam showed how important it is to be resilient
Right.
and adaptable.
Take a crash course in patience.
Exactly, exactly.
So did this jam change anything in China? Like their infrastructure, their transportation policies?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It sparked a bunch of initiatives to improve their transportation.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, they really focused on expanding and upgrading their highways.
Okay.
Added more lanes, improved the surfaces, put in better traffic management systems.
So like a major overhaul.
Exactly, a major overhaul. And it wasn't just roads.
Okay.
They invested in public transportation too,
Right.
like high-speed rail and subways in cities.
A more diverse approach.
Exactly, taking some of the burden off the roads.
Right.
And they've kept investing. China's now a global leader in infrastructure
Wow.
and transportation innovation. And it all started with that traffic jam. It
Yeah.
was a reminder that progress means adapting
Yeah.
and learning from your mistakes.
Wow. It's remarkable how one single event can have such a lasting impact. It makes you wonder if similar things are happening in other parts of the world. Maybe not on such a massive scale, but,
Yeah.
similar things.
Yeah, it's a good point. While that 100-kilometer parking lot might be unique in scale, the things that caused it aren't.
Right.
I mean, you've got rapid urbanization, more and more people owning cars, and infrastructure that can't keep up. Those are things that lead to congestion,
Yeah.
and they're happening all over the world.
So it's not just a problem for China or developing countries.
Right.
Even in developed countries with good infrastructure, we see traffic jams all the time.
All the time. Think about holiday travel, big sporting events,
Right.
even rush hour in a big city.
Hmm.
Those all create bottlenecks, slowdowns, frustration.
And I bet those smaller jams still have consequences for the economy.
Absolutely. Lost productivity, wasted fuel, delayed shipments.
Right.
And then there's the environmental impact of all those cars just sitting there.
Right. Right. So if we're talking about vulnerability, are there any places in the world that seem particularly at risk for these kinds of traffic nightmares?
I think any rapidly growing city is a potential trouble spot. Places where the population and car ownership are booming, but the infrastructure isn't developing fast enough.
So it's not just about how many cars are on the road, but the roads themselves.
That's exactly. Think of it like a bathtub. If you keep pouring water in but don't make the tub bigger, it's going to overflow.
Yeah,
Same thing with transportation systems.
that's a good analogy. So how do we prevent these things from happening? Is it just a matter of building more roads and highways?
Well, more roads are part of the solution, but it's not that simple. We need to look at transportation systems as a whole.
What do you mean by holistically?
It means going beyond just making roads bigger. We need to think about other ways to get